Welcome to Gay-Friendly Britain, home of the civil partnership, anti-homophobia legislation, and openly gay police, politicians, and, teachers?
Faggot. Sicko.
Gay boy.
Dyke.
Lezzy.
Fudge packer.
Bender.
According to a survey by Teacher Support Network, 4 out of 5 teachers have suffered homophobic abuse at work. So what's life really like for gay teachers?
It only takes one person to make your life hell. That person can be a student, it can be a teacher, it can be a parent, it can be a governor, it can be a visiting Ofsted inspector. It doesn't have to be in your face, it doesn't have to be graffiti. It can be very subtle and it can be pernicious.
I think what's stopping a lot of gay teachers from being out is fear of retribution from the children. Basically, you can be out to your colleagues, but still not be out to your class group.
Ben Miskell is a secondary school teacher in Manchester. He's out to colleagues, but is struggling to come out to his class, and is hoping recording his thoughts will help.
Hi, my name is Ben. I'm going to do a video diary to talk about my experiences because I'm a newly qualified teacher, but I'm also a gay teacher. Between me leaving school and teacher training and going back into school, I thought that things might have changed because society's really moved on. But actually, the reality is that schools are quite difficult. Schools are still quite homophobic places.
David Watkins moved to London to further his career as a special needs teacher.
I thought, wow, I'm working in a school in London. They're going to be really diverse, but actually the opposite was true. It was that, you know, I came up with the most homophobia that I'd witnessed. When I met the head for the first time, it was very difficult to get her to listen to my point of view, and she was very hostile to the idea of challenging homophobia, and that was really when I very quickly discovered that homophobia isn't just something that you experience from pupils. We were doing an anti-bullying week, and I looked at all forms of bullying, racist bullying, bullying disabled people, sexist bullying, bullying religions, faith, and homophobia. I remember she objected very strongly to an image I showed of 2 men kissing. It wasn't an erotic sexual kiss, it was just I think it was just a peck on the lips. She also made other comments to me during the term about the fact that that I inflamed some of the students' homophobia by the way I walked in the corridors. She didn't expand upon that, but you know, she did then say, "But you didn't walk that way during an interview." So I don't know whether she was trying to say I had some kind of mince or something that the kids were so horrified with when they saw me that they couldn't help but, you know, be homophobic, so disgusted with the way I was mincing down the corridor. And, you know, I never thought I had a mince or anything, but no one's ever said that to me before. I just felt very vulnerable at work, and I didn't know who to trust. I felt like I was being watched all the time. I started to feel paranoid. What are people thinking about me? I didn't want to go into work. It was fraught with insecurity. I mean, friends were outraged about the whole thing. And I used to chew their ear off all the time about it. I was so disillusioned, you know, I was so excited to come to London to start this new job, and I was so devastated when my worst fears were realised.
Homophobia can come as a shock in today's society, where the gay community no longer have to hide.
Hi, it's the weekend, and I'm just taking you on a bit of a tour of Manchester. The city where I am living at the moment, and the city where I'm teaching near as well. Manchester's a really gay place to be, actually. It's a really great place to be a gay person. This is Canal Street. It's part of Manchester's gay village, and it's quite big. It's got lots of bars on each side. There are literally thousands upon thousands of gay people in Manchester, and that's a great, great thing. But times do have to change, because only with that change, I think, are we going to get kids' lives in school, especially gay kids' lives in school, becoming a lot better, and also teachers who happen to be gay as well. Their experience is going to be better. So hopefully things are changing, and around Manchester you can see it, but it's just slow sometimes.
But for David Watkins, the situation didn't improve, and 6 months into his new job in London, things came to a head.
One of the kids asked me one day if I was married, and I said, no, I'm not. And they said, well, why, sir? And I said, well, because I'm gay and, you know, I don't want to get married to a woman. She had a big problem with that. She said to me, why, David, why do they need to know about your private life? I said, well, it's not my private life. It's my identity, it's who I am. It's who I am in my house, it's who I am at the coffee shop, it's who I am in the supermarket, it's my life, it's who I am at work, you know? I knew that what she'd said had so totally crossed the line, and I had to say to her, I'm going to have to stop you. What you're saying to me is extremely homophobic. I find it very offensive, and I'm going to have to call my union rep in if we're going to discuss anything further.
After months of meetings with the union legal team, David took his school to tribunal.
The week before we went to tribunal, I was offered a sum of money on the Monday, and I said, you know, no, I don't want it. And then the Tuesday that doubled, and then the Wednesday that increased by another $2,000, and then the Friday it doubled again. And you could tell that they were getting worried, you know. And I said, no, I don't want it. I just want people to know what happened. I just want someone to recognise what happened and say, yes, it was homophobia. We finally agreed on a settlement, which didn't include a gagging order, so I was able to speak about it, which was the best thing. That's the only thing I wanted. I got a full apology from the governors.
David fought for his rights and won.
I later was told that I was the first teacher in the UK to actually go to the full tribunal hearing using the sexual orientation regulations, because you see in the past teachers had settled out of court, but what that meant was that they couldn't speak about it, you see. And I thought, well, there's no point in me going through all this stress to not tell anybody about it and not let teachers know that they can make a difference. It's cold. It falls from the sky.
David has moved on and now teaches at Swiss Cottage School in North London.
Is it a real word?
Yeah.
Can you give it to Lucas then?
I thought I'd take the opportunity, just as I'm going down in the lift and on my way to work, to tell you a bit about what happened yesterday at school. Now, sometimes I generally find that kids, being kids, ask you quite personal questions. And one of the things that one of the kids did ask me after looking at a poster on the wall, he said, "Sir, are you actually gay?" And I'm a bit ashamed, to be honest with myself. I fudged the answer, really. I said, well, would it matter if I was gay, if I was black, white, straight, big or tall or slim? Actually, it wouldn't. And to his credit, the kid said, no, sir, of course it wouldn't matter whatsoever. But really, if I want to be a role model, like teachers really are, then really, I think it's really important that actually I am honest with the kids. And I do intend to come out to the kids, but maybe in my NQT year, I don't feel yet confident enough.
One teacher not lacking in confidence is Ellie Barnes.
Hello! Yoo-hoo! I'm here! Lovely to see you. The word tolerate. Oh, we tolerate gay people here. Do you? You tolerate them, or you just put up with them, do you? No! We don't tolerate, we celebrate!
Ellie is the music teacher and head of Year 9 at Stoke Newington School in North London.
Off we go and A, E, E, A, C, B, E, then.
She's been tackling homophobia since she started at the school.
Well, I started off because it was just getting really irritating and really annoying. Like, in lessons, kids were just saying the most ridiculous things. You know, shouting batty boy at each other. And if anything ridiculous happened, if a kid turned around and just went at another one, it'd be like, oh, stop being so gay. And you're like, do you know what this word means? No. We just use it as part of our culture. That's our street talk. That's part of our youth culture. And that was my starting point, really, was getting the kids to understand that the language they were using was wrong. So the first one, lesbian. Explain to me, what is a lesbian?
She started celebrating Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual and Transgender History Month as a whole school initiative 3 years ago.
And we're talking something like about 15% of the community. So let's have a little look around. 240 people in here. What's 15% of that? It's not a statutory requirement in schools to do LGBT History Month. I think it should be. We need to start that in primary schools, and that, well, when the kids come to us in secondary school, it's not a problem anymore. They've heard these words, you know, from a very young age. The staff here have been absolutely amazing, because everyone knows it's wrong to be homophobic, but just don't know how to go about it, you know. So as we've gone on, lots of members of staff have done projects within their departments. Oh, who said that posh word? Give me the definition of that word then.
A repeated like melody over the top.
Fantastic. So brilliant. So they know now that they don't use the word gay, and if they do, the other kids will back me. I don't have to say anything anymore, which is fantastic, because another student will jump in and go, all right, you're not using that word.
Hello and welcome to Stonington School! L, G, B and T. I really believe that one day everyone will be equal and the world will be fair. Being homophobic, yeah, is just like being racist. So by tackling homophobia, hopefully we'll tackle sexism, racism, you know, culturism, if that's such a thing. If you're against someone loving someone of the same sex, then that's just bad, because we need love in the world, not hate.
1, 2, 3, 4. A minor, G, F. Brilliant.
Whilst Ellie and her colleagues have made progress at Stoke Newington School, for Ben, back in Manchester, things are at a much earlier stage.
Today, what I've been doing is just keeping a bit of a running tally today, just of how many times kids say, oh, this is gay or that's gay. It really, really, really does drive me absolutely insane, and it is really difficult to challenge all the time. I try and question them a bit, try and use humour a bit, but also say to them that, is that pen really gay? Is it a man who likes another man? Is that calculator actually gay? Just because it doesn't work? Is it bad? Does that mean that being gay is bad? Would we say the same thing about black people, about Asian people, about Jewish people, about Muslims, Christians, Jews? You wouldn't, would you? And generally that gets the kids talking.
When your album is ready.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Basically, I'm really excited because I've written about 5 songs already that I've written like loads of songs, but 5 songs.
Challenging homophobic language helps gay students feel safe too.
You're creating an environment where you're making it comfortable for the gay students to come out, but you're also at the same time educating everyone else around them.
I sort of knew from about age of 12, 13 that I was gay, and then everyone sort of knew because everyone said I was sort of obvious, but it was never confirmed for anyone. And then when the LGBT come around and Miss asked me to do performances, and it made me much more confident within myself, and I was just like, okay, I'm gay, I'm proud, and Miss has just been really, really, really supportive.
36 people in this room are LGBT or T.
This year's LGBT History Month has been a particular success.
Let's try one more time. It's the first year that staff have felt comfortable to come out, and they've emailed me and told me that they've come out to their tutor groups, and the reaction has been nothing but supportive.
When I first came here, I wasn't aware what was going on in terms of LGBT work, and until I'd met Ellie and until I'd actually seen LGBT Month in operation twice, really, I didn't actually feel comfortable enough to actually completely out myself. I have a Year 7 tutor group, and I had a good long conversation about what's a gay man look like. We had all sorts of stereotypes came out, and in the end I said to them, so, well, actually you all know somebody gay? And they were like, no, we don't. And I said, well, you do, because you know me. And it was fantastic, and they completely changed their attitudes, and it taught them so much.
All right, brilliant. So what's the topic of our theme? The kids have never presumed that I was a gay teacher, so they haven't connected the two, and it's only this year that students have started to ask about me, and I've come out, and they've been very supportive. I had my Year 9s in here, and they went, who's out in our year group? I went, me. And there just was silence, and then one of the boys just came up to my table and just went, are you happy, miss? I just went, I'm very happy with who I am, thank you very much for asking.
Ellie's work and the school's support show how it's possible to tackle homophobia and change attitudes. But over half of gay teachers do not feel supported by their school.
If somebody wants to actually actively persecute you as a gay person, they're going to do it, and they're going to find a way, and they're going to find a moment. So many people for so many decades have sat back, and now is the time to defend yourself and to defend others. And that's what makes a healthy school.
Recent government guidance states that every school should actively challenge homophobia.
Right, okay. We're going to move on to the next bit, so you now need to really concentrate.
Lucy Cuthbertson is head of drama at Kidbrooke School in South East London.
Okay, so into a corner on your chairs, please.
I do think that gay teachers do have a responsibility to be out. Now, I think that's quite a controversial statement, but I do think it would be really helpful. And in not being out, you do no benefit to anybody.
What do you think about teachers and gayness and stuff?
I think any teacher that is gay should come out.
I think it's pretty good that they're brave, like Miss Cuthbertson is, because it's a bit stupid, really, because when they're not telling people, everyone's just going to be like, oh, Miss, are you a lesbian? But if they just tell them, then it'll be fine, because people actually generally accept it. Like, no one's abused Miss Cuthbertson to a point of suicide.
Not yet.
I think that it would also encourage other people, other teachers in other schools to come out as well, because I think our school could be like a kind of inspiration to other schools, I think.
Ricardo, what was the final gift that you managed to woo her with?
The role model aspect of being out as a teacher is just really important, because it's simply reflecting a proper cross-section of society. Because if all the school reflects is heterosexual society, that's incorrect, and that's not educating anybody. And we're here to educate. That's part of our job.
A relaxed approach to being out can have a positive effect.
I think the cooler you seem about it, the more nonplussed you seem about it. If, say, for example, a student just asks you directly, which is how I've always come out, if people have said, you know, Miss, are you gay? People say, you're gay, are you gay? And I just say, yeah. And then that's when you put it back on them, and then it's up to them to not be bothered. And I have always found that they are almost falling over themselves to be who's the coolest with it.
This is like a little group who are just carrying this person, and it's got to be beautiful. I don't want any noise, I want it to be silent. Ready? Go.
For some children, having an openly gay teacher is a big surprise.
Right. There's these two girls who said, Miss, can we ask you a question? We've heard, are you a lesbian? And I said, yes, I am. And then right across me, completely blanked me, she said, I don't think she is. And I said, well, I am, actually. And she still looks right across me, I don't think she is. And so I'm like going, well, I am a lesbian. What do you want me to say? And it was almost like the reverse panic of what people used to think during Clause 28, or the reverse panic of what people think when they're in the closet and don't want to come out. I was trying to say to these girls, I am a lesbian, for God's sake, you know, where they wouldn't believe it. It was ridiculous.
And then you
Lucy takes the less amusing reactions in her stride.
The only little bits of negative things I've had have been students shouting lesbian from a long way off in a group where they can't be identified, and it's the most cowardly, pathetic attempt at sort of trying to, I don't know, and I just kind of want to turn around and say, yeah, I know. What's that going to achieve? Pathetic.
Ben is encouraging his class to think about their behaviour and its effect on others.
I've asked him to do a bit of a confidential anti-bullying questionnaire, but also this year I've made sure that it's real focus, that I've put stuff about homophobic bullying. And I've just been looking at the results of it. I've asked him a question: do you think that students should be allowed to use the word gay to describe things negative? The overwhelming majority of people have said that no, it shouldn't, and then when questioned why, they've actually been quite mature. Kids have said stuff like, because I think it's tight to say gay is crap, and I don't think saying gay I've just done it, and for so long that it's become a habit. So I think that's really mature, and actually that would really make people's lives, especially gay kids in schools and also teachers' lives, a lot better if everyone thought like that.
Encountering prejudice is rare for Lucy, thanks to her school's inclusive approach.
I think you don't want to feel on your own as the gay teacher on their soapbox banging on about gay issues again, and that just won't work. It has to be a whole school policy, and that has to involve everybody.
Head teacher Trisha Jaffe has made tackling discrimination a key part of the school's ethos.
It should be possible for all staff to be open and honest about who and what they are, because when you start hiding that, you stop being able to teach well. It's the responsibility, once the work has been done amongst the staff, for all staff to take that on in exactly the same way as they would if it was a racist comment. And you don't have to be black to object, or be an ethnic minority to object to racism. It becomes a part of the bloodstream and a part of the way in which you simply operate.
Heads have the power to change attitudes in their schools, to change the whole school ethos. If you've got a positive, liberal, open-minded head teacher, generally you will have staff that follow suit, that you'll educate children to be adults that will follow suit as well.
As well as tackling homophobia from the top of the school community, the long-term preventative approach starts with the children.
Homophobia needs to be addressed in primary schools. So children understand at a very early age that there can be a man, a woman, a man, a man, a woman, a woman. It's all love.
John Harold is deputy head at Jenny Hammond Primary School in East London.
I came out in one school where I worked, and it was just, well, you know, you're gay, we still love you, which is literally what one of the kids said. Come and find a seat.
He's taking part in the No Outsiders project, which introduces younger children to LGBT issues.
These are all the books from the No Outsiders project. The books are aimed at primary school, so it's right from reception right up to year 6, and a little bit beyond as well, the early years of secondary school. The books are really an inroad into making discussions of this type a lot easier. What is homophobia?
It's when someone acts really bad to someone who's homosexual.
Good. Okay, and what do we mean by bisexual?
Like someone who doesn't mind if it's a boy or a girl?
Doesn't mind. Yeah, somebody who is attracted or emotionally or physically attracted to somebody who is the same sex or the opposite sex. It's been incredible. It really has. It's been such a non-issue. I mean, most of the issues have been mine. Can I read this book to these year 2s? Are they going to laugh? What kind of awkward questions are they going to ask? Am I going to be able to answer the awkward questions?
If they start laughing and being silly about it, then maybe it's just that they don't understand. It's all right to be gay or lesbian or be two different sexes, it's okay.
It's not about being gay or lesbian or Muslim or Hindu or Christian or whatever. It's about accepting differences. It's totally what I was not expecting to find. I was expecting to have a real battle. And, you know, there has been the odd sort of negative reaction from 1 or 2 parents, but nothing like I'd been expecting.
If you're gay, it doesn't matter, and everyone gets accepted equally, and it's equal.
The basis that we should all be coming from is that, you know, we're teaching about loving relationships. It's the whole spectrum of relationships that we're talking about. I'm not teaching primary school children about gay sex. That's not even on the list. You know, it's love. That's the important thing.
Over the past few weeks, Ben has been thinking about being more open with his class and has moved a step closer to coming out.
I think if somebody asked me in a lesson or in a corridor a question about my sexuality, I'd like to be honest with them, and I hope in the future that I will be. In fact, I've absolutely no doubt in the future that I will be. Maybe next year, maybe next week, maybe next month. I'm sure that people around me, especially the other members of staff, will be supportive, and I'm also sure that there will be kids in school who will actually value the fact that I'm honest with them, that I'm open with them. Being actually out and proud will actually really enhance my teaching and make me a better teacher, I think.
Things are changing. People are allowed by society to be more experimental and to follow what their heart dictates. It's not like a cool attitude, it's not a right-on attitude, it's not a politically correct or patronising thing. It's just a relaxed and understanding attitude.
It takes one person, which is what I did in my school, to do one thing. And if I could encourage that one person in every school, it doesn't have to be a gay person. It could be anyone, you know?
Go and do it, talk about it, see what happens. The world isn't going to end. Not going to be some great big chasm going to open up and swallow you. You're not going to have hordes of angry parents with pitchforks and torches. You know, those days are going.
You can challenge discrimination and you can change your school's ethos and you can make sure there's a working equal ops policy because schools are legally required to do so.
We've been tolerant for a long time of schools finding it difficult, and that's becoming a bit boring now, and I think schools just have to sort it out now, and if they don't, there should be appropriate punishments, because it's not acceptable that there's homophobia in our schools in 2008. It's ridiculous.